Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Astrid. I travel and fashion videos every week. And this week is my first week in Finland. I've literally been in Finland for I think 5 days now. Or maybe 6. Anyways, so I moved to Finland really recently, and this time around I decided to do first impression videos. I wanted to do one of these for USA as well, but I turned out not liking the video and it's trash, I never uploaded it. But this time I will do it right. So yeah, my Finland first impression, let's go. I try to stay away from stereotypes and like blogs, posts about how Finnish people were or how the culture is, so that I could have like my own first impression. But however, when I was in Berlin, I met a couple of Finnish people, and also I met people who went to Finland, and when I told them I was going to Finland, they started talking about how their stay was. So eventually I did come with a few prejudices, like a lot of people told me that people in Finland were really cold, that they didn't have any humor, that they were very individualistic, not so nice things, and I was a bit worried. Also I heard that Finland was really expensive, and things like, oh yeah, that they would, they're like complete alcoholic for some reason. Anyways, so I had all these kind of previous ideas, and I kind of had all these preconceived ideas when I arrived, whether I wanted or not. But I've been here since a week, and I think this is the first time that happens to me. In England, when I went to England, when I went to Germany, when I went to USA, some stereotypes of course are emphasized a lot, but they're not completely wrong. But here, like, I don't think I've been welcome as good as here. People are generally so nice, so welcoming, and like so helpful. Like, it could be specific to where I live, because I'm in a particular situation. I'm studying here. I'm in a master's degree where they are used to have international students, so maybe they're more used to it than in other places in Finland. So it could be that my situation is very particular, but from what I've seen in Helsinki, on my way from Helsinki to here, is that like Finnish people are actually very nice. They do seem cold at first, simply because no one smiles on the street. Literally no one smiles on the street, so that's why I think they seem as cold. This is like in public, but then in private, like people I've met here, then again, I've only been here 5 days, so this is really like a fresh impression. But like I have a tutor here who's the student who's in charge of like showing me around and stuff, and she invited me to see her friends, and then we've been to student parties and stuff, and everyone's been so nice, really welcoming. People here are incredibly respectful. Like they do sometimes like jokes, inappropriate jokes I guess, but then if they feel like they hurted you, they come to you and it's like, oh hey, if I shocked you, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to. And they're really careful about that, which I'm really surprised, because I really didn't expect that. And for example, we were talking about racism and stuff, and one of the guys who's here, who's from Turkey, was like, oh, I haven't had any racism problems since I'm here, like Finnish people are really open-minded, this is really cool. And like the Finnish people were like, yeah, actually like not being racist should be a standard, so we shouldn't be proud of being not racist. People should be ashamed of being racist. Like they have a whole different way of thinking and stuff. Like we were explained earlier on that a big shock to some of the international students is that in Finland there is less feminist fights apparently, simply because the fact that the woman is equal to men is like an obvious thing, so there's less need for feminist fighting here, because it's like the idea that the woman and the man are equal is just already in the culture. So all that leads to like really it's just nice to be here. People are really welcoming, people are really helpful. Every time I've needed help, people help me out. Also, one thing I think that might appear as coldness or unpoliteness is that they are completely blunt. Like they don't filter or they don't sugarcoat, which has bad sides and good sides. Like if they don't like something, they won't try to tell you like, oh, it's okay, but you could have done better. Like they told like, hey, this is not how we should be doing it, let's do it this way. Like they don't waste time with politeness and stuff and like putting forms into things. They just like go to the point. They're really efficient in that way. So it has the bad side that it can be offensive sometimes. And on another hand, because they're used to that, they're not susceptible at all. Like they don't get offended easy because they're used to people telling them the truth. Like for example, the other day they gave me like a traditional Finnish dessert that I really didn't like. Kind of tasted sort of weird, so I ate it. And like French manners, even if you don't like something, you eat it, because French people would get really offended if you insult our food. So I kept on eating it even though I really didn't like it. And then one of the Finnish people was like, I don't think you like that, do you? And I was like, no, I don't really like it. So like, yeah, just leave it. If you don't like it, it's not a big deal. Don't force yourself into eating it. And they're just like, it's a lot more simple. There's a lot less drama. And I do understand where the idea that they're cold comes from, but it's really just a first impression. And after that, you'll see that they're actually really, really nice. Me and my other French friend, we're always saying like, how are Finnish qualified to be cold, because they really are not. Like we were really surprised on how warm and welcoming people are with us. So that's one thing. Other things, like Finland is so freaking safe. Like the other day I lost my phone. That's right, I've been here 5 days, already lost my phone. Anyways, I lost my phone at uni, came back home, realized I lost my phone, so I went all the way back, and like between this time, probably like more than half an hour had happened. And like it's a new phone, I got it like 2 weeks ago. So so I walked back and I was like looking in the areas where it could be, and then I saw a guy and I was like, hey, have you seen a phone? I lost my phone. I was like, yeah. He's like, oh no, I haven't found any phone. Oh, you're an international student, you really need your phone to call your parents, oh my god. And he was like, he got really stressed about it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna help you. I don't have any course right now, so I can help you look for it. And then when we finally found my phone, like my phone was on a bench, like in a public area on a bench in a university, and no one stole it. Like no one even touched it. It was at the same place. And I was just so surprised. Like if that had happened in France or in Berlin and stuff, the phone would be long gone. Here they didn't touch it. And I was telling that to one of my friends, who told me that like last year a guy lost his wallet with 500 euros in it. When he went to the university counter to ask if they had found a wallet, not only did he found his wallet, but he found his wallet with the 500 euros in it. So of course, I think if you just leave 50 euros outside and wait for 2 days, it won't be there after that. But the point is, it's really safe. Like people because they are quite shy, guys don't really come at you, which is nice. And generally, like here at least in my university, I don't know if it's everywhere, but here they really have a helping each other kind of spirit and culture. So if you ever need someone else will come to help you. If you find a wallet with money in it, you don't take it because it belonged to another fellow student. And so there's really this spirit of like helping each other out, making sure we're safe together, and that's really, really nice. I really like it. I will say though, because I've been really positive at the moment, I will say though that it is true that they're a bit cold at the beginning. Maybe, I mean it's mostly like shyness, or maybe like modesty, like just, yeah, I think it's mostly shyness, and like they have a humor that can take a little time to get into, but it's quite funny. But mostly, I don't know what's up with that, but in Finland everyone is undermining their culture. Like we were talking, and Finnish actually sounds pretty cool as a language. And so we were talking with friends about whether we should or not try to learn Finnish here, and we were kind of getting into the idea, and then Finnish people started like, you know, don't use this language, it's completely useless. And then we had a presentation by university to tell us how the culture was, and the person was like, yeah, we're really cold, we're really rude, we're really like that, no one likes us, we have bad humors, we have bad style, our country sucks because it's cold. Like they're so pessimistic about their own culture when it's actually quite good, and like it's really safe, it's really nice. So yeah, we were really surprised, like with my friends, French friends, we were like in France, we're so proud of our culture and we could not shut up about how amazing France is, and here the culture is actually really nice and safe and like very chill, and like they cannot stop complaining about it, so it's very strange on how they're undermining their own culture when it's actually really cool. I wouldn't say that everyone's alcoholic here, but they do drink a lot, not gonna lie. And also they have this thing with nudity in parties, which is something I would not necessarily really ever get into or understand, but if it's their deal, then yes. Also, I know what I want to say, really cool thing here is that, like, as I said, is like, as far as I've seen and for what I've been told from other foreigners who are here for a longer time, there's little to no racism most of the time. Of course there are going to be some stupid exceptions, but mostly like foreigners here have told me that they had no problem of racism, homophobia, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism and stuff. So that's cool, but also like people here in Finland, they really like you to let them live their life, so they let you live yours, and that's so cool. Like for example, I don't really drink alcohol. I do sometimes, but most of the time I don't drink alcohol. And so mostly when I go in parties, like in the US or in France, or especially in Berlin, when I would say I don't drink alcohol, people are like, why? Why don't you drink alcohol? Oh my god, you're a French person. How can a French person not drink wine? Blah 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 blah. People always had a question or something to say about it, and it can get a little bit annoying. And here we were at the parties, when I say, oh I just have a Coke, they're like, oh you don't drink alcohol? I was like, no, and that's it. They don't ask you why or how come, or they don't do any comments on it. They just like, okay, if that's the way you do it, just do it like that and we're good. This also can be seen as cold because it could feel like they're not trying to get to know you more. I think here it's more about respecting each other's privacy, like they don't really like sharing personal stuff like that, so yeah, they won't ask you a question about your religion or about the way you do your life, about your lifestyle, whatever, just because they wouldn't like someone to ask them that question, so they won't ask it to you. And it's not a lack of interest, it's just as a respect of your privacy. So basically my first impression is that I understand why they could be seen as cold on like at first sight, but honestly it really lies down to a big interest for self-privacy, the fact that they really righteous the silence, that they don't actually really bother about small talk. If they have something to tell you, they'll tell you. If they don't, silence is good as well. But yeah, other than that, they're really, actually really welcoming, really nice, really helpful if you ever need help, and they're really respectful to whatever your lifestyle could be and so on and so forth. So yeah, so far, great first impression of Finland. I think I'm gonna love my semester here. If you have any requests for videos about Finland, leave them down below and I will do videos about it, and I'll see you next week with the new travel and fashion videos. Until then, have fun guys, ciao!